tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will learn new chapter, Compendium of Conditionality. So when we study this chapter, we need to know three things. Three things. Number one, simply it is the cause. In Pali, paccaya, cause or condition. So actually this cause may be number one, cause to arise if they have not arisen. Number one, if they have not arisen, it will cause something to arise. That is cause. Number two, if they have existence, they will maintain or support to exist. To exist. The two things, it will cause for arising or something. That is. Another one, if something is happening, that cause will support two things. Actually, cause can be the same with the conditioning things. Cause or condition. Simply conditions. So according to Abhidhamma, so the cause or conditions can be chetas. So 89 chetas and 89 chetas and 52 chetasikas and all type of material phenomena, nibbana and concept or paññatti. So that means anything can be the cause. According to Abhidhamma, we actually in Pali we are, and also actually technically we can use conditioning things. Next one is effect, or the fruit, or the result. Paccaya. Those that arise dependent upon causes or conditions. Because of the causes, the effect will arise. Simply causing effect, right? The cause is called paccaya. The effect, paccaya. So the effect can be, we can use the word condition things. Saṅkhāra. Actually, Abhidhamma saṅkhāra use the word saṅkhāra, the condition things. So because of causes, the effect can arise. According to Abhidhamma, condition things are chetas, 89 chetas and 52 chetasikas, and all rupas except 4 material characteristics. 4 material characteristics. So actually in among the 28 matters, so except 4 material characteristics, Lakkhana Rupa. So the rest are conditioned things. Conditioned things. Because Nibbana and concept, Paññatti, so they are not conditioned. They are not conditioned things. The reason is they are not conditioned by any causes. Any causes. And also, 4 material characteristics are also not conditioned things. So the reason is they are not conditioned by any causes. Actually, they are the nature of material phenomena. So what are the 4 material characteristics? Production, continuity, decay, and death, right? Decay and death. So these are characteristics of material phenomena. It continues, production, it produces, Production, continuity, then decay and death. So these are just the nature of material phenomena. They are not real rupa. They are not real material phenomena. But Abhidhamma, Abhidhamma saṅkhāra, so they are taken as a rupa. Actually, they are not real rupa. They are just manifestation of rupa. So when the matter is produced, that is called production. It continues to arise, continuity, right? It decays, then decay. It dies, death. So these are 4 characteristics of material phenomena. Other than those 4, the rest of the 24 material phenomena are conditioned things. So they are conditioned by many causes. Many causes. Actually, it is a little bit technical term. Actually, when we talk about effect, it is similar to saṅkhāra. Saṅkhāra is a conditioned things, conditioned by many causes. Sometimes because of weather, sometimes because of food, sometimes because of the mind, etc. These are the causes. So because of those causes, they are conditioned. Suppose when you eat, when you do not have enough food, then your body, rupa, is conditioned by the food. If the weather is very hot, your body change. Your body is conditioned by the weather. So for that reason, 24 rupas are conditioned things. And also your mind also conditioned by many causes. Sometimes because of weather, your mind change. And also cetasika, the same thing. But nibbana and also concept and 4 material characteristics, so they are not conditioned by any causes. No, not conditioned by any causes. Okay, so I need to make it very simple. Number 1, cause or condition. That is called paccaya. Number 2, effect or the fruit. That is a paccaya. Because of the causes, the effect will arise. But the cause can be anything, 4 ultimate realities, even concept, paññatti, can be the cause. But because of those causes, the effect of the fruit will arise. So those causes condition. So the effect is conditioned by the causes, those causes. So those effects are cheta, all type of cheta, all type of cetasika, and 24 rupas. Among 28, 4 material characteristics, lakkhana rupa, they are not conditioned by anything. They are just merely a concept or the name that show the manifestation or rupa. So to make it very simple, cause and effect. Cause is called paccaya. The effect is called paccaya. Before we learn conditionality, we must know these three. The last one is the force or the power. Paccaya-sati. So actually here, the paccaya-sati is the quality that show how cause and effect are related to each other. How, So A and B are related to each other. This person and this person are related to each other. How it related? By way of son and daughter. Father and son. Or as a brothers. So actually here, the force or the power, in other words, the quality, how they relate each other. How they are related to each other. So actually this is a number 3. So they are nothing but 24 qualities or 24 the forces that mentioned in Bhattana, the 7 texts of Abhidhamma Pitaka. 7 texts of Abhidhamma Pitaka. Number 1, cause, paccaya. Number 2, the effect, paccaya. And number 3, the quality or the forces that mention or that show how they relate, how cause and effect are related to each other. And then later you will understand that. Just like later I will explain again. So before we learn conditionality, this chapter we need to know 3: cause, effect, and the quality. How the cause and effect are related to each other. So here we have a twofold conditionality, 2 types of conditionality that will be mentioned in this chapter. Number 1 is the method of dependent originations. The method of dependent originations. It explains the relationship or conditionality between 2 things. Number 1, cause. Number 2, the effect. So dependent origination just mentioned the relationship between 2, cause and effect. For that reason we call it causality, and also we call it the law of cause and effect. That is called dependent originations, dependent upon which something happens. So actually out of 3, here we have 3, right? So out of 3, dependent origination will show only 2 things, relationship between 2 things, cause and effect. Because of Avijjā, that is cause, saṅkhāra arises. Saṅkhāra is the effect. Only 2 things. The next one is the method of conditional relations. It's called Bhattana. Bhattana explains not only cause and effect, the relationship between cause and effect, but also the force or the quality that show how they related to each other. So the Bhattana conditional relations were mentioned 3. Number 1, cause. Number 2, the effect. A relationship between these 2. Not only that, it will also explain the force or the power, how cause and effect are related to each other, how they related. 2 persons are related. How? In terms of father and son, as a brothers, as a sisters, they are related. So Bhattana will show the force or the quality, how they related to each other. So that is difference between Paticcasamuppāda and Pattha. Paticcasamuppāda just show the relationship between cause and effect. But Pattha, conditional relations, show not only relationship between cause and effect, but also show the quality, how they relate each other. Here, dependent origination just explains that A and B are related. A and B are related. But it doesn't tell us that how they related. Conditional relations explain that A and B are related by way of root, by way of object, by way of predominant, etc. So we have 24. So that is the difference between Paticcasamuppāda and Pattha. Up to here, any question? That is the difference between Paticcasamuppāda and Pattha. No question? Okay, I hope, I assume it's clear. Okay, so here we are talking about causality, conditionality. By the way, the word conditionality, the word causality, are they the same in terms of in English? Conditionality, causality, are they the same? Not the same. Similar? Yeah? Sorry? Almost similar, right? Almost similar. Maybe I will take it as a similar one, right? Causality. So here, causality means the relationship between cause and effect, right? The relationship between cause and effect. So teachings on causality in Buddhism pay much attention the law of cause and effect. That's very important. So as far as I know, so we have 4 teachings that talk about causality in Buddhism. I actually just that is just my collection. It can be more than that. Number 1, karma and vipaka. Karma, we have a bodily action, verbal action, and mental action. Because of those actions, we will have a result, reaction. Because of action, there will be reaction, cause and effect. So karma and vipaka, that is a simple teachings of the Buddha. It can be applied anything, Karma and vipaka, that is a causality. In other words, we can say that dependent originations. Another type of dependent originations. Because of good karma, a good reaction will come. Because of bad karma, a bad reaction will come. We can call it dependent originations. Dependent on which something happens. Any objection? No objection. That is a small dependent origination. Number 2, 4 noble truths. 4 noble truths also depend on origination. Causality. We were not using dependent origination. Causality or conditionality. Because of craving, suffering arises. That is it. Depend on something happen. That is a because of practicing 4 noble truths, the noble eightfold path, then you attain Nibbana and cessation of suffering. That's also causality or conditionality. As you reduce the amount of craving, the amount of suffering also are reduced. So you actually reducing craving condition, lesser degree of suffering. We can call it causality or conditionality. But if we, the next one is dependent origination. So according to Tayatayana Sutta, in Gautama Nikaya chapter 3, Sutta number 61, so according to that Sutta, a rising formula of dependent origination is second noble truth. So we can elaborate second noble truth by way of a rising formula of dependent originations. So third noble truth can be elaborated in terms of cessation formula of dependent originations. So we can say that dependent origination is the further explanation about the second and third noble truth. Further explanation and detailed explanation of second and third noble truth. By showing second and third noble truth, actually it also shows the first and the fourth. Now we can safely say that dependent origination elaborates Four Noble Truths. If you want to elaborate, explain further dependent originations, it is called conditional relation, pattern. So we have 7 pattern books, very thick. 7 books in Abhidhamma, very thick. Sorry, 5 books. 5 books. Very thick one. So these are teachings in causality and Buddhism. So actually, causality is very important in Buddhism. It is a major, it is an important role. It plays important roles in Buddhist teachings. Buddhist teachings. Now let's study about dependent origination. Dependent originations. Actually, we just finished dependent origination in the Sutta study class. For those who are attending Sutta study class, this will be repetition. Repetition. Then you can digest dependent originations. It's very important that dependent origination talk about for living beings, not for other things. That's very important. So we can apply dependent originations in our daily life. It is for human beings or animals, all living beings. It doesn't talk about any other things. But of course, Patthana will talk about many other things. Dependent originations, Paticcasamuppāda is one of the most important teachings in Buddhism. It explains 2 things: the origin of suffering and cessation of suffering. Only 2 things. How suffering originated, how suffering can be stopped. That is only 2. The origin of suffering is second noble truth. The cessation of suffering is third noble truth. So these are further explanation of second and third noble truth. It also expounds the basis for other key concepts in Buddhism, such as theory of karma and mind process. Actually, in Abhidhamma we use Viti, and also the process of birth and death. So it's talk about by studying dependent originations. In one of the suttas, actually I couldn't find out yet, but I have read before. Then a person asked the Buddha, so the Buddha, you always you are always ready for answering questions. So you never say no. Why? And the Buddha said that he knows dependent originations. So actually here, Paticcasamuppāda just simply means the law of cause and effect. Because of this, that happened. So by knowing the law of cause and effect, the Buddha is able to explain any questions right away, on the spot. So actually this is very important. So yeah, very important. The word Paticcasamuppāda is popularly translated as a dependent originations. It is a combination of two words, Paticca and Samuppāda. Paticca means dependent upon, Samuppāda means originations or arising. So that means dependent on something that arises, that originates. So that is the definition of dependent Paticcasamuppāda. So we can translate as a dependent originations or dependent arising. So actually we have many translations regarding with the Paticcasamuppāda. Some use dependent origination and some use dependent arising. And Bhikkhu Bodhi use in this book dependent arising. But so this is a earlier translation. But in other his latest translation, he used dependent originations. And some other people use dependent co-arising. Some use condition arising. Some use condition genesis. Some use causality. Some people use the law of cause and effect. Actually, there are many more. So different people use different translations. Anyway, so we will use a popular translation, which is also very close to original Pali. But of course, dependent arising also very beautiful term. So because of dependent on something, something arises. I want to talk about a little bit about history of dependent originations or sources of dependent originations. Bhavacakka Pali or Vinaya Pitaka and the first three sutta of Udana Pali record how the Buddha reflected dependent originations. So actually, dependent origination is reflected by Bodhisattva before he became the Buddha. Actually, dependent origination simply means cause and effect, the law of cause and effect. Because of that, this happened. So even the Bodhisattva, he contemplated the nature of dependent originations. And also, he became the Buddha by contemplating dependent originations. Because of this, that happened. And I think to talk about this, we need to understand how the Buddha became the Buddha. So he achieved four jhana, the fourth jhana. So the fourth jhana is so powerful that the mind is very pure at that moment. There's no defilements at all, just like a polished mirror. So if you see your body in the polished mirror, you can see your face very clearly. Just like that, after attaining fourth jhana, he inclined his mind to recollect his previous path. And he recollect his previous life and how, where he was, the places and the name, the food, anything, he can recollect. So because of something, because of then Then after that, and he inclined another another knowledge that is called the recollection of how other people, how they have a rebirth, and because of something, because of after doing unwholesome actions, then they will go to unwholesome destination. Because of after doing wholesome actions, they will go to wholesome destinations. By recollecting the life of other people, many life of other people, and he can understand. He will know the law of cause and effect. Because of this, that happened. Because of this, that happened. By contemplating the life of other people and also the life of himself, his previous life. Even for us, we were born in this life. Why we were born? So if we know our past life, so we will know the law of cause and effect. Because of this, that happened. So if you are Hamsan, then why you are Hamsan? No? If you can follow previous your good karma, you will know it. If you are ugly, why? Like this, right? So this is the law of karma. Then the next one is called Aswakya Jnana. So by contemplating his life and the life of other people, he began to understand the law of cause and effect. So that is nothing but divine origination. In other words, we can call it Four Noble Truths. But here, Four Noble Truths and divine originations, they are not different. In terms of the essence, they are the same. Of course, there is in terms of presentation, they are the same. So for that reason, after analyzing divine originations or Four Noble Truths, then he achieved enlightenment. That is how the Buddha became the Buddha. So if we study this one, so we can understand that the Buddha attained enlightenment by realizing Four Noble Truths and also by realizing divine originations. So that is the process. So according to Bhavacakka Pali or Vinaya Pitaka and Udana Pali, so the Buddha, after attaining enlightenment, the Buddha spent 49 days, in other words, 7 weeks, near the Bodhi tree, enjoying the bliss of Nibbana for 7 days. He sit down without moving, enjoying the bliss of Nibbana. 7 days after his enlightenment, and the Buddha emerged from the state of deep concentration and reflect on divine originations. So that is the Sutta mentioned very clearly. 7 days after his enlightenment, and he contemplated on divine originations. Actually, he became the Buddha after using divine originations, after realizing Four Noble Truths or divine originations. Now, after 7 days, he contemplated. So he analyzed the law of cause and effect. In other words, we can call it conditionality or causality. So on those sutta said that at the first Ocho night, the first part of the night, and he reflected divine originations in direct order. So because of Avijjā, saṅkhāra arises. Because of saṅkhāra, vijñāna arises. So that is called direct, anuloma. Another we can call it a rising formula. A rising formula. Dependent on A, B arises. So that is called arising formula. So at the second watchful night, he reflected dependent originations in reverse order. If you do not have ignorance, you will not have a saṅkhāra. So if there is no A, then there will be no B. So that is called reverse order or cessation formula. So that is the second part of the night. And the third watchful night, he reflected dependent originations in both direct order and reverse order. The last part of the night. So in this way, he is very clear in his mind. Dependent originations, in other words, the law of cause and effect is very clear to his mind. Because of this, that happened. The example, dependent upon A, B arises. If there is no A, then there will be no B. Just example, no? Just example. So that is a both direct order and reverse order. So the last part of the night. So I think by looking at this one, so we have a two method in dependent originations. Arising formula. Because of this, that happened. Another one is cessation formula. If there is no A, there will be no B. So two methods. Arising formula is further explanation of second noble truth. Cessation formula is a further explanation of third noble truth. Third noble truth. Mahanidana Sanyota, Venerable Ananda taught to the Buddha. I think that is very important to understand, because Venerable Ananda said that it is wonderful, Lord, it is marvelous how profound this dependent origination is, how profound it appears, and yet it appeared to me as clear. For me, it seemed to be very easy. Venerable Ananda said that. And the Buddha said that, the Buddha replied, do not say that, Ananda, do not say that. This dependent origination is profound and appear profound. It is through not understanding, not penetrating this doctrine, that this generation has become like a tangled ball of string, unable to pass beyond the woeful state of existence and saṅkhāra. But here, woeful state means not full woeful state. Saṅkhāra itself is woeful. Even the human realm, even the heavenly realm and Brahma realm is woeful. Here, according to here. We look at from the total view. Total view. So actually, the commentary mentioned that Venerable Ananda, as is Sotapanna, the law of cause and effect is very clear to him. In other words, he had learned a lot of Dhamma from the Buddha. For that reason, it seemed to be very easy for him. But it is just a Sotapanna level. Because he does not understand the law of cause and effect further, for that reason, it is difficult for him to become non-returner, once returner or arahant. But of course, in Sotapanna level, seems to be very happy, very easy for him. Easy for him. The Buddha said that no, it's very profound, very profound. In Mahanidana Sutta, the Buddha said that without a clear understanding of dependent originations, even the mind of those who accomplish in jhana can be clouded with the idea of self or the idea of soul. Because if you do not understand, even though you have a lot of concentration, then you have peace of mind, serenity of the mind. But if you do not understand divine originations or the law of cause and effect, then so their mind can be clouded with the idea of self or the idea of soul. It's dangerous, no? Mahahati Padopama Sutta, the simile of elephant footprint. Venerable Sariputta taught to the monks, quoting what the Buddha taught. And he said that, the Buddha said that, he who sees the Paticcasamuppāda sees the Dhamma. He who sees the Dhamma sees the Paticcasamuppāda. So that means the Buddha equate with the Dhamma and Paticcasamuppāda. But I think what the commentary say is very beautiful. The commentary said that Paticcasamuppāda here means conditioning things, not 12-fold formula, what we are going to learn. Not 12-fold formula. So here, Paticcasamuppāda means conditioning things or condition or cause, the cause. Here, Dhamma means condition things or the effect. So that means it talk about cause and effect. So if you know the effect, you know the cause. If you know the cause, you know the result. So actually they are connected each other. For that reason, so according to commentaries, if you know the cause, you know the effect. If you know the effect, you know the cause. So that means if you really understand suffering, you will understand why. Craving. If you really understand craving, you will know its result. If you do not know one thing, you do not know the others. They are related, right? They are related. So this is that means Paticcasamuppāda. Because the reason is in that sutta, we do not find any 12-fold formula. In that sutta, the Buddha just talked about 4 great elements and how they arise and how they disappear. So actually, that means Paticcasamuppāda, the Pali word there, Paticcasamuppāda is not the 12-fold formula, dependent origination doctrine. It just means the cause. So the Dhamma is the effect. Because of cause, the effect arises. Question? Any question to hear? Okay.
For us as a lay devotees, right? So
Can huh?
for us lay devotees, right, we actually will see dependent origin from our point of view. We do not know which level we are. So we are actually doing this very gradually. So like for example, I'm on primary level. So I will see dependent origin as this, and then I will practice accordingly until I go to the next level.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
to me, it's like I won't know whether I have wrong view or not. Again, come to this. I will do my own. Of course, I will take the tree poison as my guideline, or those that is to my knowledge as my guideline. But like dependent origin to me, also it's not so difficult. If I practice correctly, it's not that bad. So it's from my primary level. So it's only gradually that you go to your secondary level, then I look back, I have not done the correct thing, but right now I'll do the right thing from this point, from this point of view right now. So how do you see from? I mean, as what will you recommend or share with us in the sense that how we should go from here?
different, as I earlier said that in the Nidana Sanyota, right? So Venerable Ananda, of course, he know his knowledge about dependent origination is very easy, for him. The reason is just is Sotapanna level, just is Sotapanna level. So what the Buddha taught is he does not understand dependent originations, the next level, the Sakatagami, one's return. I always say that as a Sotapanna, if he see beautiful things, attachment is there, he attached to that. But as a one's returner, attachment is getting diluted. So normally we see beautiful things, but as a one's returner, he no longer see as a beautiful. So he see as it is. Actually, it is, we call it asubha, right? Asubha, repulsiveness or unpleasant. So as a normal people, actually we are not even Sotapanna, So when we see beautiful things, attachment is there, because we do not see those objects as it is. But as a Sakatagami, they see those things, what we so-called beautiful things, as a ugly or repulsiveness. Actually, that is the truth. So once returner, he see the truth. He see the object as it is, as a repulsiveness, as a unpleasant. So if he see the real nature of the object, no longer attached to them. So attachment is reduced. So if you see those beautiful things as the ugly, asubha, that is the truth. So once returner understand dependent originations in his level, but he still have anger, Anger is not very, of course, it's not very obvious. If he see unpleasant experiences, irritation, or dislike will come in his mind. That means once returner do not understand dependent originations in the non-return level, anagami level, right? Like this. So we have a different level of understanding. As a normal people, we do not see the real nature of the object as it is. Then that is a wrong view, That wrong view arises because of ignorance, not knowing the real nature of the object. So because of ignorance, then we try to react. Reaction means attach to them, attach to them. Saṅkhāra. So our understanding is a different level, different level. Even it can be different depending on the time, Sometimes we understand, sometimes we do not understand. Okay? 1 minute. Okay.
So the commentaries define Paticcasamuppāda as condition and karma as effect in this particular sutta. Actually, Paticcasamuppāda can also refer to the actual twofold formula.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just that commentator chooses to call it that. There's no wrong to also say the truth, see the twofold formula, and he sees the Dharma because he sees it as a formula.
Because the reason is when we talk about Paticcasamuppāda, people think that threefold formula. So when we're talking about dependent originations, but in your mind's eye, you always see threefold formula, because of Avijjā saṅkhāra arises. For that reason, I always say it many times, Karma, Vipaka, Paticcasamuppāda. Four Noble Truths, Paticcasamuppāda. The law of cause and effect, Paticcasamuppāda. Even in my Sutta class, at the end of the topic on dependent originations, I show 22, 22nd fold formula. But we have a 22. Because of this, that happened, because that happened. That's also dependent originations. But here, actually what the commentary said is very beautiful. The reason is, in this sutta, so Venerable Sariputta do not talk about triple formula. It talk about the nature of four great elements, the nature of rupa. So if you see the cause, the Buddha, Venerable Ananda Sariputta talk about the cause and also the effect. So actually he take it according to that sutta. So I think this is what the commentator expressed. So anyway, as you said that the Paticcasamuppāda, of course we can simply say the law of karma. Sorry, the law of cause and effect, conditionality or causality. Okay. So, Professor Oliver Binayake, and he said that in his lectures, so the Buddha often mentions that in order to attain enlightenment, one has to understand the Four Noble Truths. But here, enlightenment also different level, Sotapanna also have enlightenment, Sotapanna level. Sakadagami enlightenment. Arahant, full enlightenment. But here, the Buddha said that if you want to attain enlightenment, you need to understand the Four Noble Truths in some places. In some places, the Buddha said that if you want to attain enlightenment, you must understand dependent originations. So by studying this one, the professor make a final conclusion that there is a two type of the first sermon. So in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha talk about Four Noble Truths. And the Ariya Pariyesana Sutta, so the Buddha talk about dependent originations as say the first sermon. So actually, if we look at the Sutta, it is Four Noble Truths and dependent origination. They are not different. They are not different. They are the same. They are the same. Only the way of presentation, how the Buddha present. Many suttas in Sutta Pitaka, especially Nidana Sanyota, nearly 300 discourses. Nidana Sanyota mention alone, So there are a lot of discourses. In the two texts of the Abhidhamma Pitaka, Vibhanga and Patthana, so the Buddhist theory of causality plays an important role. So in this way, we can understand that Paticcasamuppāda is important teachings in Buddhism. But in the commentaries, especially in the Visuddhimagga, so 12 formula of dependent originations is formed in the biggest, the largest chapter. It's called Bhumi Nedesa, Panya Bhumi Nedesa. So if we look at this one, then we can understand that. It's very important. Buddhist theory of causality is given in the most prominent place among the teachings of the Buddha, not only in Theravada but also in Mahayana, Vajrayana as well. the meditation masters from all Buddhist schools pay much attention to the dependent originations, Paticcasamuppāda, because it shows how our mind functions and how our mind reacts when it contact with outside object. When we see something, the mind reacts. When we hear something, the mind reacts. How it functions. So by understanding the function of the mind, how the mind works, and we'll be able to understand how to tame our monkey mind. So that for that reason, dependent origination is very important to study about our mind. So it is a study of mind. We can call it psychology, Buddhist psychology. Four years ago, when I teach dependent originations in my social study class, because I put it under meditation. So actually, one of the students asked me, she is a, how to say, she do not understand why, dependent origination and meditation are linked. She do not understand. But later I explained that they are very important. They are related. If you do not understand dependent origination, here dependent origination simply means the law of cause and effect. Because of that happened. You do not understand meditation. Sometimes when we go outside, we see the object. Sometimes pleasant, sometimes unpleasant. We hear the sound, pleasant, unpleasant. Then when we understand dependent origination, the law of cause and effect, easier for us to control our mind. So that is a meditation is training our mind. Then dependent origination will show us how to tame. Okay, so regarding with the dependent originations, that is a short formula. When this is a present, that is a present. Imasa sati idam hoti. When there is A, there is B. There is B. From the arising of this, that arises. Depending on A, B arise. So that is a arising formula or dependent originations. Actually, to know the cause is very important. Why it arises. So actually, the Buddha knew the cause. For that reason, when the Buddha talked about the world, he used two methods. One in terms of five aggregate. Five aggregate is the world, your world or mine. Actually, we see the same thing, but the way we perceive is different. So depending on our perception, depending on our outlook, then the result, the world will be different. In other words, the Buddha used the word six sense spaces. See something, hear, then taste, smell, touch, and think. So these are the six sense spaces. So the way you look at outside object will decide your world, your world. So if you perceive in proper way, your world will be pleasant, good. If you perceive in improper way, so your world will be bad. So actually that is the world is dependent on how you see and how we perceive. But here, the cause is very important. Another one is when this is absent, that is absent. It looks very simple, but it's very important. It shows the summary of dependent originations. If there is no A, then there is no B. If there is no ignorance, there will be no saṅkhāra. So that is a very huge discovery, at the time of the Buddha. So when the cessation of this, that cease. So when there is no A, B, cease. So that is a short formula of dependent originations. So this is a simple explanation. So this is a simple explanation. So dependent on eyes and forms, unconsciousness arises. So this is the way we study our mind. How consciousness, the mind arises. We have eye and something to see. Because of that, the unconsciousness. So the medium of the three is called contact. Because of contact, feeling arises. Because of feeling, craving arises. So this is a short example or a simple example of dependent origination. It's not a twofold formula, but this is a very simple one. So when the Buddha wants to talk about a current issues, current craving, the Buddha used this one, very simple one. So by using those discourses, meditation master will teach how to train our mind. So when we see something, hear something, etc. So this is a simple example of dependent originations. Cakkapala Sutta is very beautiful sutta. Meditation master, they use this sutta very often. And depending on ears and sound, ear consciousness arises. The medium of the three is called contact. With the contact as condition, there is a feeling. Because of feeling, craving arises. So that is a simple example of dependent originations. Another one, then we can say, depending on eyes and forms, unconsciousness arises. The medium of three is called contact. Because of contact, feeling arises. Because of feeling, mindfulness and sampajana arises. No craving, no craving. That's also dependent origination. If there is mindfulness and sampajana, that means you don't have ignorance. If you do not have ignorance, actually the wisdom or sampajana is the opposite of avijjā. If there is no avijjā, no ignorance, there will be no saṅkhāra. If no saṅkhāra, no vijñāna. No vijñāna, up to there will be all type of suffering will cease. Cease. Twofold formula of dependent origination is known as Bhavacakka. Visuddhimagga gave this name, circle of existence. In the twofold formula, the Buddha used two methods. Number one, direct aura or arising formula. The second one, river aura or cessation formula. So that is a dependent originations. Any question up to here? No question, right? Okay. Then the wheel of life. Because of ignorance, volitional formation arises. Because of volitional formations, consciousness. Because of consciousness, mind and matter. Because of mind and matter, six sense bases. Because of six sense bases, contact. Because of contact, feeling. Because of feeling, craving. This is a complete form of dependent origination. So in earlier suttas, we have learned that I and form, unconsciousness. The meeting of the three is called contact. There is no mind and matter. There is no six sense bases like this, It's a different form of dependent originations. Because of craving, clinging. Because of clinging, existence. But here also, when we study Four Noble Truths, craving is the second noble truth. Because of craving, suffering, suffering. But here, in the Four Noble Truths, clinging is not mentioned. Right? Clinging is not mentioned. In other words, we can say that craving is divided into two levels. Two levels. Clinging more powerful. Because of that, existence. So according to Four Noble Truths, any type of existence is suffering. Suffering, Because of craving, you have an existence, or you have a suffering. Because of existence, birth. So you rebirth again. Then aging and death. Surely aging and death is suffering. Because of aging and death, and also you have a sorrow, lamentation, despair, like this. So all manner of suffering will follow. Then because of aging and death, ignorance arises again. Because of ignorance, volitional formation. Because of that, consciousness, mind and matter, up to birth and aging and death. Because of aging and death, ignorance again. But here, ignorance is not the first cause. Later I will explain that. The commentary and Abhidhamma, so they propose three periods for time. Ignorance and volitional formations, so they are past causes, the causes in the past life. Because of those causes, you will have the effect. They are called present effect in this life. Consciousness, mind and body, mind and matter, 6 sense bases, contact, feeling and sensation. These are present effect. Because of ignorance and volitional formation, you have all these in this life. Then, because of feeling, craving arises again. Then because of craving, clinging arises. Because of these two defilements, and you will do saṅkhāra again, karma again. So these three are called present causes. The causes that you do in this life. Because of those present causes, you will have a future effect. So here we have two future effects: rebirth and aging and death. Actually here, birth, aging and death, they are nothing but 5 effects. That is a consciousness, and 6 mind and body, mind and matter, and 6 sense bases, contact, feeling. Actually, the birth, aging and death, these are just a conventional terms. According to Abhidhamma, birth and death are just a conventional term, so we give the name for convenience sake. Actually, this is a birth and death are the name of 5 present causes. If we talk in other words, we can say that birth and death are another name of consciousness, the mind and matter, and 6 sense bases, contact and feeling. So these are the another name for the birth and aging and death. So these are, according to commentary and Abhidhamma, 3 periods for time. So Abhidhamma and commentary trying to analyze in this way, but it is not wrong. It's not wrong, but not 100% correct. So when we study, sometimes in the Cakkapala Sutta, we study because of I and the form, I consciousness arises. So that consciousness is not a rebelling in consciousness, not a rebelling in consciousness. It is just I consciousness. Because of meeting the three is called contact. Because of contact, feeling arises. Because of feeling, craving arises. So it can happen in this lifetime, anytime, right? Anytime. When you see something, when you hear something, then ear consciousness will arise. Contact, feeling, craving. It can, for that reason, some people, some scholars said that dependent origination do not talk about 3 lifetimes. It talk about it talk about the mental process or mind process that can happen anytime. That can happen anytime. So this concept also not 100% correct. So actually, sometimes, so we have a different type of dependent originations. Sometimes the Buddha talk about the process of the mind in any time or any moment, any moment. When you hear unpleasant sound, contact. Because of contact, unpleasant feeling. Because that feeling, craving arise. Happening right now, happening right now. That's dependent originations. But some discourses, many discourses, the Buddha use consciousness as a rebirth-linking consciousness. So that means, in the Twofold formula, we have the word vijnana. Just vijnana. Vijnana purely means consciousness. So the consciousness can be in one of the sutta. Later I will touch on that. One of the sutta, the Buddha said that consciousness can be given different name according to contact. So when we see the consciousness arises when we see an object, that's called unconsciousness. When we hear something, became different, ear consciousness. But that consciousness arises in a new life for the first time. It can be called rebirth-linking consciousness. So that means we have a different type of dependent originations. Different type of dependent originations. So sometimes it talk about this moment right now. Sometimes it talk about 3 lifetime. 3 lifetime. So we have to understand in such a way. Another important thing is it will not go. Twofold formula will not go in order. It might not go in order. Because of ignorance, craving arises, craving rightly like this. So we have to understand in such a way. But the Buddha want to explain in details. He used a complete chart, complete form, a complete formula. And because of consciousness, it can be craving, we have because of consciousness, craving can arise. So like this, we have to understand in such a way. Any question? Okay, according to Abhidhamma and commentaries, Twofold formula is divided into 3 lifetimes. So we have to understand this one first. Okay. Then regarding with the Twofold formula, dependent origination is not a philosophical theory of evolution of the world. Some Buddhist scholars, they want to describe dependent originations as a theory of evolution like this. They use very big term, big name to attract the public, or to attract the, especially I want to say the educated people. They use very big names. Actually, it is very simple. It makes no attempt to dig out absolute original life. It just talk about mind process. Sometimes it can be in this moment. Sometimes it can be to lifetime. It depend on the conditions. The doctrine of Paticcasamuppāda can be illustrated by the saṅkhāra, as I have earlier. So in a saṅkhāra, any given point may be taken as a starting point. Sometimes the Buddha used craving as a starting point. Sometimes feeling. Sometimes 6 sense bases. So anything can be starting point, not ignorance. But of course, ignorance is very important. For that reason, we start from the ignorance. Ignorance should not be regarded as the first cause or ultimate original everything. We shouldn't think in such a way. Ignorance also, in some sutta, avijjā arises depending on taints. We have 3 types of taints. So when you are enjoying sensual pleasures, the taints of sensual pleasures, So when you are enjoying sensual pleasures, you do not know the real nature of sensual pleasures. Ignorance arises. So here, ignorance also have the causes. Sometimes because of 5 hindrances. Sometimes when you are angry, vyapara, then you do not know your mind. Ignorance. So like this, ignorance also, avijjā also have a causes. So in that way, we can understand that everything has their own causes. Ignorance is not the first cause. Ignorance also has a lot of causes. Because of aging and death, you have ignorance. You fear death. That means fear arises because of ignorance. So aging can also be the cause of ignorance. So in Namattaka Sanyutta, the Buddha said that because this saṅkhāra is without discoverable beginning. Ignorance is not the beginning. Not a beginning. The first point is not descent of beings roaming and wandering on, hindered by ignorance and fettered by craving. But here, 2 main causes: the ignorance and craving. But ignorance and craving are not the beginning. There's no beginning. Beginning is not descent. Beginningless saṅkhāra. We do not know when we started. But if we practice the Noble Eightfold Path, then we can end this saṅkhāra. The end of saṅkhāra can be done. So here, what I want to say is, even the ignorance and craving are not the cause, not the first cause, not the first cause. Then, ignorance and delusion. Sometimes we use ignorance, sometimes we use delusion. What is different? Avijjā comes from the root avijjā, which means not knowing or not understanding. It is a synonym of moha, delusion. The word moha derived from the root moha, like a moishati, So that means to bewilder or to confuse. That means perplexity. Moha means perplexity in the object. When you see something, you do not know actual nature of that object. You have a perplexity. That's moha. That's moha. I think to know about what is avijjā, and we can learn this one, Vipanga Samdhanikaya. Then one of the monks asks, what is ignorance? And the Buddha answered this one, what bhikkhu is ignorance? The Buddha said that not knowing suffering, number one. Not knowing suffering. Not knowing the original suffering. Second noble truth. Not knowing the cessation of suffering. Third noble truth. Not knowing the way leading to cessation of suffering. That is ignorance. Very simple. Very simple. Not knowing Four Noble Truths is called avijjā. Actually, if we talk about this soda, if we use this soda, it's talking about how to say Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths, the way to end all type of suffering. All type of suffering is avijjā. We do not understand suffering as is suffering. That is avijjā. As I earlier said that, Sotapanna, he removed a certain type of certain degree of avijjā, but he still have some more avijjā. No, seeing beautiful object as a beautiful, that is a avijjā. You know, you do not understand the object as it is. As it is, that's because of avijjā. Because of avijjā. Then, if someone is thinking that our body is permanent, that is actually a wrong view, because you do not understand this body is impermanent. That's ignorance. As you do not have ignorance, then you, if something happens to your body, then you suffer, because you do not understand the actual nature of your body. So that is the nature of avijjā, ignorance. So not knowing the original suffering, you do not understand craving as the original suffering. For that reason, you do saṅkhāra, a lot of saṅkhāra. For that reason, the Buddha said that bhikkhus, it is because of not understanding, not penetrating the Four Noble Truths. So that means you have avijjā or ignorance. I have you and I have room and wander through this long course of samsara. And the Buddha, actually in many discourses, the Buddha said that not knowing Four Noble Truths. Not knowing Four Noble Truths. But here I think knowing Four Noble Truths is very important. Very important. So if you do not understand, if you do not know the Four Noble Truths, you stay with avijjā. You stay with avijjā. So for that reason, in the Soda study class, I choose meditation. I teach meditation based on the Four Noble Truths. Because understanding, if you understand Four Noble Truths, then you understand you don't have a avijjā. If you don't have a avijjā, then you will not have a craving. You know? The craving is the cause of suffering. No craving, the end of suffering. Four Noble Truths, very important. Not knowing Four Noble Truths is called ignorance. Ignorance. Moha is the root of all evil in Abhidhamma. It is a direct opposite of wisdom. The opposite of wisdom is ignorance. The opposite of ignorance is a wisdom. No? in the Sutta, for that reason, it is said that ignorance is a forerunner. The Buddha said, Bhikkhus, ignorance is the forerunner in the entry upon unwholesome states. But here, unwholesome state can be different level, different level. If you have an attachment to your meditative bliss, or the bliss, or a pleasurable, the bliss of meditation, if you crave for it, that is unwholesome. Different level, different level of unwholesome. So ignorance is the forerunner in the entry upon wholesome state with the shamelessness and fearlessness of wrongdoing. Ahirika anutapa. For an unwise person immersed in ignorance, wrong view, mechadeti spring up. If you have a wrong view, wrong intention will arise. If you have a wrong intention, your speech will be wrong. Your action, your livelihood will be wrong. If you have a right livelihood, wrong effect. If you have a wrong effect, wrong mindfulness. If you have a wrong mindfulness, wrong concentration will arise. If you have a wrong concentration, a wrong understanding. If you have a wrong understanding, wrong view arises again, like this. So actually, ignorance, not knowing Four Noble Truths is ignorance. It is a forerunner of everything. It doesn't mean it is a starting point. Ignorance also the cause. But in the Samadhi Sutta, so we have a different level of Avijjā. We can understand different level of Avijjā. Number one, not knowing wholesome and unwholesome deeds. So if you do not understand wholesome as a wholesome deed, unwholesome as an unwholesome deed, that is Avijjā. If you think that killing is good, that is Avijjā. If you understand that stealing is good, so that is Avijjā. That is Avijjā. Then not knowing the root of wholesome and unwholesome deed. You think that if you think that practicing compassion is not good, that means knowing. If you know like this, so that means Avijjā. The next one is not knowing Four Noble Truths. Getting higher and higher. Getting higher and higher. Then not knowing divine originations. That is Avijjā. So Avijjā here means simply means not knowing Four Noble Truths. That is Avijjā. You do not know suffering as a suffering. You do not know the original suffering as the original suffering. That is Avijjā. Some people think that craving, craving is very important. So without craving, we will not survive like this. They do not understand craving as a craving. Any question up to here? No question, right? Okay. According to Abhidhamma, Avijjā means ignorance is non-knowledge of 8 things, according to Abhidhamma. Number one, 2, 3, 4, Four Noble Truths. And number 5, the prenatal past. Here, prenatal past means you do not understand 5 aggregate and 80 elements or 12 basis, etc. in the past, especially in the past life. That's also ignorance. Next one is the post-natal past. You do not understand future, life or future fire aggregate. Because of that, you don't believe future life. And because you do not understand past five aggregate, you do not see, you do not understand. Because of that, you think that there's no past life. But if you understand five aggregate in the past life, then you will not have such a wrong view, and you will believe past life. Normally, people do not believe past life and afterlife because they have ignorance. They do not know. Even for us, sometimes, because of ignorance, we do not know aggregate in the past life. So it is ignorance. It's ignorance. But next one is the past and future together. Past life and afterlife. But of course, you know the present life, And the last one is a dependent origination, not knowing dependent originations. So actually, the nature of Abhidhamma trying to cover many things, Actually, Four Noble Truths, dependent origination, they are the same, If you talk about Four Noble Truths, you don't need to talk about dependent originations. If you talk about Four Noble Truths, you don't need to talk about 5, 6, 7. As we have learned in the footprint or simile of elephant footprint, anything can be put into Four Noble Truths. If you talk about Four Noble Truths, you don't need to talk about the rest. So that is, but of course, you need to know what the Abhidhamma says. Abhidhamma talk about non-knowledge of 8 things. Four Noble Truths, prenatal past, the postnatal past, the past and future together, and dependent originations. Okay? That's ignorance. So if we conclude what is ignorance, I think not knowing as it is, not knowing suffering as is suffering, not knowing the cause of suffering as is the cause of suffering. Normally we do not know. Because of that, we create, we create for it. Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths. Okay, any question? No question, huh? Four Noble Truths. Of course, this is a embodied. And then we have learned in the previous chapter. I hope you understand. You understand it? Second one, volitional formation, saṅkhāra. Volitional formation, saṅkhāra. Depending on ignorance, Avijjā, the volitional formation arises, saṅkhāra arise. But here, volitional formations are bodily, verbal and mental activities done with the volition. So that volition is motivated by ignorance and craving. That's not normal volition. That volition is motivated by, driven by ignorance and craving. If you do something because of ignorance, because of craving, your activities is called saṅkhāra. Saṅkhāra here means volitional formation or volitional activities. It can be done with the body, with your speech, and with your mind. So sometimes we can translate as a volitional activities. Volitional activities. Some activities that is done with the volition. Sometimes we use karma formation. So if you do with the volition, motivated by ignorance and craving, then karma is formed. Karma arises. You have a bodily karma, verbal karma, and mental karma. Volition and karma formation in the Sutta, the Buddha said that it is volition, bhikkhus, that I call karma, for having way one acts by body, speech, and mind. Volition or motivation is very important to do something. In Buddhism, volition or motivation is called karma, not your actual action, Volition drives you to do something. That is called karma. Sometimes you kill a sentient beings accidentally. You don't have any volition to kill. That is not called karma. That's not karma. For having way, one acts by body, speech, and mind. Saṅkhāra means making together. But here, making together means motivated by ignorance and craving. Saṅkhāra actively involve making reaction toward the object that you see, that you hear. Suppose you see something, then you do not know actual nature of the object, then you crave for it. You do ignorance and craving, you see. If you like it, craving, or attachment will arise. If you don't like it, hatred will arise. Actively make an action. That's called saṅkhāra. Making reaction toward the object. Something you see, something you hear, etc. So making reaction toward the object. That is called saṅkhāra. It motivates the associated mental factor to take action on the object. Associated mental factor. If you don't like, angry. If you like it, greed, like this. If you don't have a like and dislike, ignorance, moha, like this. So reaction. It motivates the associated mental factor to take action on the object. So we have three types of saṅkhāra according to Vibhanga Sutta. Very simple one. Number one, the bodily volitional formation. So that volitional formation is done with the body, motivated by ignorance and craving. Bodily volitional activities motivated by ignorance and craving. Sometimes you do with your body motivated by wisdom and motivated by compassion or loving kindness, etc. That's not called saṅkhāra. Only it is motivated by ignorance and craving. That's called saṅkhāra. The verbal volitional formation. Then you speak out because of if it is motivated by ignorance and craving, that's called volitional formation. You speak out motivated by wisdom or motivated by compassion, loving kindness, not called saṅkhāra. So the main thing here is ignorance and craving. That's very important. the mental volitional formation, that one also motivated by ignorance and craving, That's called mental volitional formation. Here the key point is motivated by, driven by ignorance and craving. You do something without ignorance, without craving. That's not called saṅkhāra. So such action will not produce suffering. Any question? You understand? I hope. Actually, to apply, up to now we were two linked, ignorance and saṅkhāra. So we apply in our daily life, because our class, the name of our class, Abhidhamma and daily life. So we have to remove ignorance. We must try to see what it is, not to have ignorance. Then if we do not have ignorance, there will be no craving. If you do something without craving, without like and dislike, all your action will be right. All your action will be right. So I think we can apply this Buddhist teaching. So for that reason, when you do something without ignorance and without craving, that is called kriya, right? Kriya, functional activities. It's not called saṅkhāra, kriya. So such activities called kriya. Kriya also function, Karma also function, the same thing, but different terms. Abhidhamma make it two different terms. Kriya, functional activities. So the Buddha and Arahant, they do something because it is necessary. By doing such one, many people will benefit. Because of such compassion, loving kindness, they do something. So whether the result is good or bad, they don't care. They don't care. Their mind is not affected. Sometimes we do something because of craving. We have a lot of like and dislike. We do something, if the result is not good, then our mind is affected because of ignorance and craving. So we can apply this simple teachings, Simple teachings. So if we do something headed by wisdom, knowing, if we do something without craving, without like and dislike, then we do something that we should do. Whether the result is good or bad, we don't care. Then our mind will not be hard. No harm, not affected. Because we think that this one we should do it, because that we do. So that is called kriya. Functional chaita. Functional activities. We think that we should do this because it is necessary. If we do that, many people will benefit it because that we do. Okay? No question? Okay, then time is up. Let's close. Yo varatan bhavaro manu jesu sakya muni bhagavakata kecho paragato bala viriya samangi Tan sukatan saranathamupemi Ragavi ragama ninchamasokan Dhamma masangata mapatikulan Marurami mampagunan suvipatan Dhammami mansaranathamupemi Yatachade nama hapalamahu Chatusususisu purisayukesu Atacha Pogala Dhammadasate Sanghami mansaranathamupemi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you everyone.